Alex, I have to say, I'm with the people that still have questions about this. I kind of don't buy the nothing to see here. And I don't know that the Justice Department helped their case. They released this video. Let's show it. It shows no one entered the area surrounding Epstein's cell in the hours before he died. But there's something significant about this videotape.
10 minutes
what is
missing.
It?
Well, here's one thing that some people on the internet are picking up on, which is that there is about a minute missing between 11:58 p.m. 58 seconds and 12 a.m. the night that Epstein was apparently killed or died. And so
the official story is that he died by suicide. That's
correct.
what then Trump Attorney General Bill Barr said a few years ago.
Nah, that's absolutely insane, man. So a whole minute went missing.
Yeah. Well,
Jeffrey escaped. Jeffrey's alive, bro. It's just no way, bro.
I think they went in there and they killed him.
He's for sure dead.
Someone went in there from one of the elites, sent someone in there to go in there and kill him.
There's
so
way
they
too
could
much
not
information.
squeal.
There's way too much information. Are you kidding?
Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. Something happened.
He's dead.
Definitely.
They killed him.
Yeah, he was killed.
They're trying to cover up the fact that he is dead.
He had too much info.
He was like, I'm trying to talk to my lawyer. We watched the documentary. We heard the phone call. I'm trying to talk to my lawyer. He was finna, y'all don't let me out this bit? I'm telling on all y'all.
Damn.
Y'all going down with me. And they killed his ass.
This is crazy.
Well, that's when it happened. It's clearly what happened.
But why wasn't he moved? Like, where is he at?
He's in the cells.
Oh, back here.
No,
Nah,
behind
one of
the
those.
green doors.
Oh, I'm tripping. Bro,
Clearly it happened then. This is like a movie thing.
know,
This
bro.
always happens on movies. Oh, we went back and watched the cameras. Oh, there's 2 minutes missing. Oh, I bet it happened then.
So y'all think it's like no way he could be alive?
No, I think he's dead.
And I think because
I think
that was
they
too
killed
quick
him.
for him to escape. Maybe it's not.
That's quicker. That's better. Like, if you're looking at this, that's a better assumption on him walking than someone killing him in a whole minute.
Wait, couldn't they just do
They
an
broke his
autopsy
neck.
though?
They did. His neck is broke.
Yo, yeah. Did they see him? They seen him actually in the.
So someone went in there and broke his neck.
Yes, someone went in there and broke his neck and wrapped it. Yes, and framed a suicide.
Wow, this is crazy. This is the fissiest shit ever. All right, let's get to the.
Because this video proves nothing. They could have killed him in the cell, walked out. Someone went in there.
Let's get into the controversy.
One of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that. You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, you know, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
Yeah, man. I think something happened to Cash. I think he got in there and realized it's way over his pay grade. Because Dan Bongino was saying the same thing. And both of them being implicated in the cover-up of this, I mean, it obviously diminishes their credibility completely.
It does,
I mean,
bro.
I got to be honest, but I'm not going to blame them because they're in deep. This is the deep state we're talking about. Millions of dollars. If they want to get you knocked off, they can do so. So obviously they're protecting themselves in their own interest in that respect. But I mean, like,
because this is truly how
he is
over
singing.
their head.
Exactly. This is the real him. So now that he's the FBI director, he says there is no list. But then Pam Bondi said the list was on her desk, and she also said that there was thousands of videos and all this. And then now they're saying there is no videos. At least, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. If the Trump administration is gonna send a message to the public, make it be the same message. If y'all can't say anything for some reason, then that we don't understand, then at least y'all be on the same page about it. Don't have Pam Bondi saying that there's thousands of videos and all this stuff, and that there's the list that's on her desk, and then Kash Patel saying all this, and then he gets in the FBI as the director and turns around and says there's no list on Joe Rogan, and if he had it, he would give it to her.
James Comer said yesterday that all the Epstein files are missing. Can you confirm the status of them? They still haven't heard from you.
No, the FBI, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call him later and find out.
I said this from day one. This was the greatest mistake the Trump administration could have ever done, was promising to release this. And I said we weren't gonna, whatever we get is not gonna be the truth. I said that from day one. You can go find the video. I've said it. I knew this was all gonna be bullshit when they said we're gonna have it in February. Then they pushed it back a week. Then they pushed it back a week. Then they released the files to influencers on X. Oh, wow.
Like, what was that all about?
It's complete BS.
What was that all about?
It's also interesting that even J.D. Vance on Theo Vaughn was like, oh, yeah, we need to release the Epstein files. Dude, we're not going to get the files. We should have known. Everyone knows that. I told you guys that this was BS from day one.
Happen too, bro.
I said it from day one.
Me too.
I can see why.
This my guy right here,
I can see why now, it's an Epstein list. You can't get it.
Guys, the FDA has been constantly letting food that should not be in our systems in our food. And this has been a really big problem. And they're putting chemicals, dyes, and stuff that messes with your hormones in there. And it's making people feel sick, tired, inflamed, all types of stuff. And there's even more problems. So there's this stuff called mRNA. And it's in vaccines like the COVID vaccine and all types of vaccines, really. And it's actually terrible for you. And it's in a lot of meats nowadays, too. So there's really nothing you can do to avoid it, because it's in a lot of the meats that we eat, and they call it organic.
Here's what we have to protect our health. The Kimchi One. It's a powerful fermented superfood that's easy to take, and it's got over 900 strains of good probiotics to help protect our body from all this toxic stuff. I take these every day. There's no nasty taste, just a simple capsule that you take, and it helps protect your gut, your immune system, and fight all these nasty chemicals that's in our food today.
Go to the link below and use the code Cartier for 25% off, or call 888-350-6128 to get up to 50% off and free shipping. That's 888-350-6128.
There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far. And here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning, he had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, Mr. President, 9/11, yes. John F. Kennedy, yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes. He was a little bit hesitant of bringing that information out. Why? So why does his leadership team go out there and are like, we have this information and we're going to release this and Kash, and let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this. All you have to do is send a message to everybody, say, God, let's have a conference call. Here's what we're going to be saying about this, because this was a very important issue to not 80% of the voters that voted for President Trump, but I think 20% of the voters wanted to know what's going to happen with Epstein, and it's a big letdown. Normally when I come, I give a very positive message. My only suggestion, no more fumbles. You're having the greatest start ever as a president. There's going to be Nobel Prize, but a lot more than that. I believe he has a shot at going down as one of the greatest presidents of all time and competing for some of the top 5 type of lists. But we have to have an emergency meeting and saying collectively, no more fumbles.
That's facts, bro. I said the exact same thing. Y'all just heard it.
Yeah, this was a fumble. I said from day one that this was going to be a blunder. And now not only has he tarnished the reputation of a lot of people in his administration, he's also hurt his own credibility because now a lot of people in the MAGA base are very upset with this. They're very upset with this, and the midterms and everything. That's going to be a striking point for a lot of people running. So I mean, this is going to be an interesting cleanup. I don't think they're going to try to clean it up. I think they're just going to try to move forward.
You think they're going to brush it under the rug?
Dude, they asked Trump today. He said, we're always talking about this guy. It's a waste of time to talk about this.
Yeah, they are.
He said that today.
This is bad. They shouldn't have talked all that trash about what they were going to do if they weren't going to do it.
I told you guys, it's way deeper than we think.
It is deep.
It's way deeper than we know. I mean...
And that's why
if what they're saying is true,
on it, bro. Still,
I don't.
Not on this.
He already has lied. I told you guys from day one that this was a mistake.
We can be real.
They should never have said they were going to do this.
Yeah.
They're not going to release the JFK files either. We're not getting those either. It's way too. It goes way above our head. And once we know the truth, I don't know if the public will ever recover trust in the government. I think that there's so much going on right now in our country, behind the scenes with our government. Why we know the government lies. Why do we believe
Do you not think that?
I think the government lies.
I know, yeah, but do you think that list could be too much for the American people to handle?
Duh.
Okay.
I think that,
so you don't think
it would be too shocking.
They're protecting like...
I don't think they're protecting us. We want the list. The American people want the list. We want to know.
They're protecting the people on the list.
If what we know about Jeffrey Epstein is true, no one deserves to be protected. Everyone needs to go down.
They're pedophiles, so yeah.
Everyone needs to go down. They need to burn this.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to burn. Period. Full stop. And I have to make a point here. And if what is true about who's on the list, the princes and all these politicians and people,
some.
oh buddy,
actors,
oh buddy,
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. The world is gonna literally burn.
This will literally change the country as we know it. I mean, but I think it needs to be done.
Is that a good thing?
Okay.
Yes.
The government.
But if you decide, but look,
the government, its job is to protect us from a lot of stuff.
You want to know something?
So hold on. To that point, right? So if something that we don't know was on the list or something, and it was going to hurt the American people in any way, wouldn't you think that they would at least get on the same page about the messaging?
They didn't know that.
How did they not know that?
They just got to it. Cash just got in there. Pam just got in there. They said, "Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get
but
you."
But why would you not? Before you make a statement,
and then you get there like, "Oh shit!" Then the Reaper in the back. Yeah, buddy. You see why we can't do that?
You giving them a lot of grace,
bro. But then still, you don't have the same messaging.
It's just because
that is what people. If people say, if they said off the rip, he killed himself. There is no list. No one will be questioning anything. It's the fact that Pam Body said what she said. That Cash Patel said what he said.
I get that.
After
it was
just recently.
It's been so many W's and there's been so many changes.
We understand, bro, but we can say when something is wrong and that is wrong. Like he fumbled. They did, bro.
I just think it's been so many changes to make America like actually good. And
yes, it has been. We agree with this.
Yes. I do believe that they truly are doing what's best. So if they're doing what's best,
to keep the same messaging, the Democrats get on the same page about what the things they're gonna message. It makes it look like the administration is not organized. No, it's not
organized.
No, either you have the videos or you don't. Don't say that we do.
They do.
Okay,
they don't release it.
Cash just said on Joe Rogan. Cash Patel just said on Joe Rogan there is no videos.
Yeah, we are. And then Pam Bondi said, "I've seen thousands of hours of videos."
So which one is it?
Disturbing. Their stories don't add up. Now they're trying to just, it doesn't exist. It's all a conspiracy. And people that. They want to believe it because they want to believe Trump, but I think this is a lie. I said from the beginning that this was a mistake, and I think Elon and his America Party got some momentum with this because they could. So do the Democrats. They can strike and say they're not releasing it because he's on it.
That's what they are saying.
There's already known ties of Trump to Epstein.
People do say that.
Now, and in Trump's defense, I think two super rich billionaires in New York. Of course, they know each other. That's I would say, but hey. If they saying you on the client list and now you're saying there's no list, when you in power of releasing the list, I think there's some speculation there. But we could also go as far to say the deep state destroyed it. So now the next presidents ain't gonna have nothing to release. So it really could be dead in the water as far as we know.
Yeah, I get what y'all saying. Just say, just do what you're gonna say. What you say, just do it.
Right. You should have never made the promise. We're gonna declassify all this information. I said that was a mistake. I said that is the greatest mistake the Trump administration made from the second I heard it.
Do you not think that it could have been deeper than what they thought it was?
I don't give a damn if they said it's deep. They said they were gonna release it to the people. Now we're not getting shit. Mistake. You lied. You fell short. That's the biggest fall of the Trump administration. That is the biggest fumble.
Like this
I'm
is
not
just
finna
a
sit
way
here and
to
defend this shit at all.
underline like all the W's that happened. Man.
I don't give a damn about all the other W's, man.
Them huge
Cool.
W's. He didn't stop wars.
We are happy about those.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, all these wars, none of them were gonna be on American soil.
If he
I think it was a big deal. I think it was a big deal. All the stuff he's done, I think it's excellent what he's done. Like PBD said, but I just don't like the messaging is inconsistent. Like you said, if they couldn't release it for some reason, at this point, Pam Bondi and Cash Patel both were on the same page about the information that they had when she made that statement about the stuff is on my desk, yada, 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 and all that. And just like a month ago or 2 months ago, Cash Patel goes on Joe Rogan and says there's no videos. After Pam Bondi said there was videos. Just get on the same page. It makes the administration look bad. If the Dems were doing this, we would call it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend this. I think this is an L. I think the fact that we're not getting information on high-profile pedophiles in our country and they basically just get to go free, knowing that they pedophiled children, and I mean, pedophiled and assaulted children, and we're supposed to just say, oh, they said it's fake. Fuck that.
Let me hear what Trump says.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary who was
I think he
Miami
did.
U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the staff?
Yeah, sure. If
could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on
like that answer, bro.
At a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well.
That was a key
That's
word.
what I meant by that.
What about the videos?
Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released. Never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that.
No knowledge.
And the minute
I don't buy this shit at all.
from the video, we released the video showing definitively. The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Wow.
Real quick, bro. Real quick. Hold on, bro. They did not answer the question. They said, was he, did he work for America or not? Oh, we're not talking about him right now.
No, they didn't say he worked for America. They said, does he work for a foreign intelligence agency? They didn't answer. She said, not to my knowledge. Number one, Trump's right. We have had a lot of great victories and all that stuff under Trump. Not denying that. He's killed it. But this is the biggest fumble of the administration, and I don't think this is going to go away quiet. I think this is going to linger, and it's going to hurt. And I'll tell you why. Jeffrey Epstein had cameras in every single room of every house he owned. Private cameras. All the girls, the victims in each house, said they were brought into rooms by the clients. They all said that. So you expect me to believe you have thousands of hours of video and if none of it's from these secret cameras? Bullshit. Number two, I think it's highly possible that he was a foreign intelligence asset. I think that theory is possible.
I'm gonna look into that one.
I also think that the fact that they're just trying to brush it off and act like it doesn't matter after you guys promised to release the information, and then months and months after it has gone on and the information you release is Oh, it's not. It's all fake. Oh, everything we thought we had was fake. I just can't buy that.
I can understand people's frustration.
I don't buy that at all. I don't buy anything that they said. I think that was a poor deflection, and I think every American citizen and voter has the right to be upset because they think we're dumb.
Yeah, they should definitely.
I'm not falling for that.
They should have a better answer for that question, for sure.
They're just basically making it seem, oh, he killed himself. Oh, no one killed him, and everything we thought we had is not there.
I think of all the times I've maligned that guy, all the times I'm accused him of crimes, of blackmailing people, of trafficking children to powerful figures around the world on behalf of global intel services. And then I learned yesterday from Attorney General Pam Bondi, that's totally untrue.
Yes, yeah.
The guy killed himself after 36 days in prison for no reason. He was a billionaire. Mm-hmm. He had no clients. He'd done nothing wrong other than get like naughty massages 20 years before. And the guy killed himself, another pointless death. And then his best friend, former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, doing 20 years in prison for no crime. There are no victims.
Yes, it's a victimless crime. They're obviously persecuted by the state.
Yes.
They're political prisoners, really. It's The Hague should come in and do an investigation, or we're watching one of the most systematic government cover-ups of all time.
Yeah. With them. But when he killed himself, I remember thinking, people were like, he didn't kill himself. I was like, yeah, he probably killed himself. You know, he's in jail, whatever. His brother, Mark, called me a couple days after he killed himself. And so began this like 3-year-long conversation with Mark Epstein and looking into it in a way I never thought I would. He didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
He was murdered in his cell.
Yeah.
And I think that's really meaningful. It's the most secure federal lockup in the United States. How can that happen?
Well,
it can't happen without state actors involved.
That's right. Look at the story that we were told at that time. Part of the information dump here by the administration is some hours of footage. We were told that footage didn't exist. We were told that this was some guards who were, off. I think they were on duty. They fell asleep. None of it exists. And actually, it was all part of a screw up, and the camera angles wouldn't even be able to show anything. But that's why they're relatively confident. So where did this camera footage even come from?
Well, the camera footage doesn't even, first of all, it ends before they take his body out. Right. Why can't we see that? Yep. And the angle on it is absurd. Yeah. But the real question, just not to be pedantic, but the real question is, who are the other inmates on that cell block? So no one came in or out of the cell block. I think that's fair. It was the most secure cell block in that federal lockup in Manhattan. But who are the other inmates? And I went to Department of Prisons, which is part of DOJ, and asked, what are their names? Oh, we can't for privacy reasons. Really? These are people who can't vote or own a firearm?
Yes.
For the rest of their lives, but somehow they've got like a HIPAA law or something around who's a federal inmate? Fuck you, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry. It made me so mad because, of course, if Epstein was murdered, and it's very clear that he was murdered by another inmate.
That's right.
And we know that a bunch of them were transferred out of that unit right after he died. Who were they? Where are they now? Mm-hmm. Why can't we get an answer to that question? So the whole thing that this tape shows that he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. They're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
Yeah, I agree, because the lie is more the lie at this point is not even part of trying to convince any of this is true.
Yes.
The lie is a signal to everybody else involved in the scheme that to the ultimate ends, the United States government will go to protect all of you.
Yes.
And that's the question.
Man, is that smart.
Purpose.
Can you say that again? Okay,
yes.
So it's a signal.
The lie is not for you and me. The lie is for those implicated to say, no matter what, we will protect you. And then we have to start asking the question, why? As in, what is the purpose of this entire thing? Why does it matter that it happens right before the Israeli prime minister comes to Washington for the third time? As you said, what is the linkage here between those two? And the linkage is the fact that even a surface level view of Jeffrey Epstein, of the case, of the entire public record, reveals Alex Acosta, who said he belonged to intelligence. He said that. The person who was responsible for the sweetheart 13-month deal. Alex Acosta, who is the U.S. attorney, said, and I believe he testified this in sworn testimony, said, I was told he belonged to intelligence. That was a key part of why he the charges were dropped against him, and he got some sweetheart Palm Beach County Jail situation where he was allowed to leave on the weekends. And why, even though I know you'll forgive George, but I actually won't. I don't have dinner with pedophiles. I'm not sure about you. I'm generally aware of the people who I am around, and if I can get invited to someone's house, I do cursory Google searches. That's generally what I think that's normal.
Smart.
I don't want to be in the presence of people who I think are like genuinely evil. That's what I think. So for me, I actually can't forgive many of the media figures and the presidents, people like Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, all these other high profile figures, specifically because it was all out in the public record. And then in particular, all of these high flying Wall Street financiers and Deutsche Bank, remember they were fined, I think it was the New York Financial Services. I read that entire report. It's one of the most extraordinary reports I've ever seen because they specifically talk about how the bank ignored almost every single one of its own procedures that it would apply to any other client. And that at the highest levels, and remember, I think is the Barclays CEO, he's already been in trouble for this, for covering up much of this in one of the largest financial institutions in the entire world. For example, Tucker, if you and I keep going to the bank and withdrawing $9,900 in cash, and we do it for a couple of weeks, our banking institutions are supposed to call, both the IRS and the DOJ and say something is going on here.
And they will.
They will, and they should, right? That is what this is done for a reason. He did this for years, and the classification that the bank accepted was it was just for tips. This is what I mean about the highest level of the cover-up and what the cover-up means for the system itself. And something you and I were talking about recently is I really believe here that, and I've never believed it more, that in a sense, for elected government and for all the benefits of our republic and of representation, that elites actually have always mattered. And of course, they're the ones who run, they're the ones responsible for channeling public energy. This is the way that we're set up.
I think there's way too many loopholes like these guys. I don't believe the story, and I think they're having a great conversation here. I think they're doing a nice deep dive because there's so much that goes into it that obviously a lot of the public don't know. But I definitely just think that the story is completely inconsistent and that we're not getting the truth. And the higher ups are being protected here, and us regular American citizens have every single right to be upset. I think this should be a signal to everyone who thought like, oh, the swamp was going to be drained, all the lies were going to be exposed, et cetera, should start coming to the realization that that's a promise that nobody will ever be able to fulfill.
Somebody's above Trump.
Duh. We knew that. Joe Biden wasn't running the country.
This is a cover-up.
I mean, obviously, Trump is having plenty of wins, sure. But obviously,
they didn't want that.
What this proves is that this goes above his head as well.
Yeah.
So, I said, this is the promising to release that was the biggest mistake the administration made.
We should have known when they released the binder with everything covered up.
That was weird.
That was bull.
It's all weird.
The fact that they gave it to random people on X because they got some followers.
And then what did we get from that?
Nothing.
Like it was a trophy.
Nothing. I'm sorry,
guys. I mean, this is crazy. It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up.
I don't buy this.
It's a cover-up. Let us know what y'all think in the comments.